Well, hello out there. As promised, I am making another video here on converting the x590 from winter duty to summer mowing. As you can see in the background, it's not quite time to mow yet. We're still, it's April 10th, and still quite a bit of snow in the backyard. But I'm going to be an optimist and hope that we're done with our snows and start converting this over and see what it takes. First time I've done it, and we will see how it goes. We're going to start with taking off the cab, and we'll get in a little closer here and see how we do that. Okay, so the cab is really held on with this internal frame, and you can see, there's a couple of slip friction fittings there. They said I might have to back those bolts off just a little bit to make them looser, but it's really just a friction fit. There's two pins up here that hold this front section on, and there's a clip right down here that I think just to take the frame off. This is a joint right there, and then these come off later. But by and large, those are the major anchor points. The rest of it's just held on with plastic clips. Oh, plastic. So let's see. Start. Open up that control zipper area there a little bit. Open up the access here, and not sure really how well this is going to turn out. Let me see if I can get my tripod in here. Okay, like I showed you before, there are two cotter pins holding the pins that hold this front assembly and the front of the bra down here, so I really can't find a good way to use both hands and get the camera in there, so I'm just going to have to do this a little bit while you envision what I'm doing. But I'm just pulling out the cotter pin. I'm pulling out this pin. And now that's free. And we can go on, put these in here for storage, I think. And now let's unclip the rest of the thing, the rest of the cab. Okay, so now we're going to go around and just unclip. This side is all held on with magnets, so that's not a big deal. Undo that clip. Undo that clip. A big one here. See if I can undo this with one hand. I don't think so. Alright, so I'm going to need two hands for these. You get the idea. I'm just going to undo the rest of the clips, and we'll be right back. One thing I should point out, there are a couple of washers that sit under those pins were, so I want to make sure I don't lose those. Next thing I do is unhook the controls and get them out of here so we can, lift up when the time comes. That's a pretty simple matter. And of course I dropped the washer again. Alright. And just got to undo that pin. Alright, I'm going to undo that, and then I'll be able to take this rod out of here. Okay, got that unhooked. Now I can just bring the controls out, set them down, and now we're about ready to start lifting all this up. Alright, so Just going to loosen these bolts. Okay, yep, it's nice and loose now. So now we're going to take off the clamp down here, and you really can't see it, but on the back side there's a little button, you know, kind of like one of these deals where you push it in and can separate the pieces. I guess before we do that, I'll pull the door off. Just undo this Velcro, and you can just lift it up and off. Alright, so now I reach back here, pushing the button, and now I can lift that. Whole front is coming off. Just take that off. Alright, so got the door off, got the front unhooked, all the clips are off, those bolts are loose, whole thing's ready to come off. So let me put this on the tripod and see if I can lift this off. Okay, well, that wasn't too bad. Came off. Probably took me 15 minutes in total, and that's with, you know, moving the camera around and stuff. Next time I do this, if I just go to it without messing around with the camera, I could probably do it in 5 to 10 minutes, no problem. So comes off pretty easy. I guess didn't quite notice it, but one of the posts came out and scratched that up a little bit, but oh well. It's going to get more than that scratched up before we're done. And take off the tire chains, and these, just pivot that around, pull that off, undo that, and you know, I can drive right off of that. So that'll be pretty easy. And I guess now it's time to pull the blower off, and let me get set up for that. Okay, so it's 1 week later. I ran out of time last weekend. Continue this. Let's get the snow blower off. You see, lost a lot of snow in the last week, which is kind of nice. Getting a snow blower off is just removing the 2 pins on each side. You got to disconnect the belt underneath the mower, and then you lower the blower down, get it off the post there, and you can undo the hydraulic lift, and it should separate. So let's get underneath the mower and get the belt off. Alright, so it's just a matter of walking the belt off of the pulley. This is a new belt, so it's really nice and tight. But there you go. As you might expect, to get those pins to pull out, you need to have no weight on it. So what I've done is driven the mower up on a couple of 2x4s just to give me a couple extra inches of clearance. And I'm going to put this dolly under here so that once it's down I can move it around easier. And even with the mower off, the hydraulics will at least release. So hopefully I can pull this. Yep, not a problem. And you can see there's a little roll pin that engages there to hold it open. And now I should just be able to tip it forward and roll it away. Let me put this on a tripod. Now we just have the subframe, and so we'll just take that pin out to release the hydraulic arm, and then there's that cotter pin that holds that big silver pin on, and this whole thing will come off. So you probably heard when I pulled the pin that frame for this snow thrower clanked down pretty good. It's not terribly heavy, but that weight on the end of a thin rod that you're trying to hold on to is enough that it could pinch your fingers pretty good or whatever. So next time I do this, I'll put some wood under there or support it up a little bit. But now let's pull the main pin out. I'll have to start it up and turn the wheels the other way so I can get the pin out the other side. You'll be able to see just how easy it is with the power steering. The wheels will turn no problem. So let's do that. In case you're wondering, this is the underside of a 48-inch deck. 3 blades. The big plastic piece in the front is the mulch kit. Okay, the nice thing about this 48-inch deck that comes with the 500 series is it does have 4 anti-scalp wheels that you can see turn, and then they lock sideways. So what that allows you to do is just roll it very easily. Okay, one of the first bits that you need to hook up is this hanger, which has kind of pins on either side that go through the frame where the snowblower frame hooked up, and then the end of this hooks into the front of the deck like that. So they do have these kind of strange cotter pins, and first time I've experienced them, but it seems like if you just push it out and then rotate, they come out pretty well. And likewise, when you put them in, you just kind of turn them around. They did stress that you want to make sure that when you go to put it on, no, I can't get it off. There you go. If you look at it, there's the hoop side needs to be on the outside, or the long straight pin needs to be on the inside, depending on how you want to look at it. But anyway, let's get the other one off. There you go. And it's kind of springy. Okay. Put this in this way. Alright, that one's there. I'll do the other side and we'll go on to the next step. Okay, now that I got that front bracket on and it's connected into the hooks, now I can put the hydraulics down, and that's connects to one of those on either side, so let's work on that. Alright, so you want to start by getting, well, actually we need to start first by getting the belt tensioner out of the way. Come back to that later. And now we can get this pin pulled out and out of the way. Alright, let's let the hydraulics down. Not enough weight to pull them down. Alright. may not have been quite evident in that video just a minute ago was that the holes for the pins on the hydraulic arms just a little bit far back to line up, and of course it's because of the tension on that point there. So once I had the height adjusted correctly to connect up, I just grabbed the edge of the deck and lifted it up and pulled it back, and that was enough to give me like the extra 1/4 inch for those pins to slide in, and then you could see that I just wiggled the pin in and got it all the way through. So now onto this belt tensioner. This is kind of a nice feature as opposed to the snow thrower, which you saw had all the tension on it. This actually, you know, moves the main belt wheel forward and back. So with it out here, we don't have much tension on it, and should be a pretty quick and easy hookup. So let's give it a shot. Now that the belt's on the front, I can just pull this belt tensioner back, and that rear wheel gets tightened up nicely, and the tensioner rod just there comes out. Don't let go of it like that. But anyway, this is on. I should be able to run the blades now. Let's see. Okay, so it works. Now it's just a matter of setting up the anti-scalp wheels and leveling the deck. These are pretty straightforward. You can pull the pin and rotate. And it's obviously adjustable on height. Okay, I've pulled my mower into my garage, so I have a nice flat surface. You adjust the deck. To do that, you first lift your deck all the way up. Make sure it's at the 2.5 for this particular model mark, and then go ahead and let the deck down so it's resting on that. And they give you this tool here, which is just a riser that we're going to test height with, and a wrench. So first you got to find the points, which there's a little point right there and another one on the other side, and that should just fit under, and it doesn't fit there. So now just alright, so that's what you're gunning for right there. Now raise the deck up. Alright, now I can just keep cranking on this. Just so it doesn't hit it anymore. Good, they say shake the deck a little bit. Oh yeah, up just a little bit more. There we go. Now I'll go do the other side. Okay. It's a little high. good side to side. Okay, the final test is right in front of the front bracket, and a bit high, so take 18 millimeter and loosen that up. That was too much. There you go. There you go. Perfect. And do the other side. Just oop, too much. Alright. There is a bolt on the back side, so I'm actually going to loosen that up and bring that bolt in so that when I tighten the front bolt, it locks everything in place. Let's see. Hopefully that's still good. And now everything's tight and we are all set. Alright, so that was the whole conversion. One thing I did notice in the owner's manual, it says once you pick your mow height that the wheels should be like a half inch, no more than a half inch above the ground. I mow at that height. I like to mow a little high, so I'll have the wheels down a little bit more, but that's it. All said and done, probably less than an hour, well, or an hour or so. Now that I can finally open this up all the way. There's the, that's what it looks like. Still nice and new, haven't used it much yet. Looking forward to when the grass grows. But, so there you have it. How to convert the 590 over from winter to summer. If I wasn't messing with the camera, I'm sure I could have done this in 45 minutes or so. Anyway, I'll provide updates as I need to, and if I find anything interesting, I'll let you know. If you have questions, put them in the comments and I'll get to you. Thanks. Bye.